production begins in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello and welcome to United Way Update. I'm your host, Amy Luppins, Assistant Director of United Way of the Lower Eastern Shore. Joining me today are two very special guests representing Salisbury University's Student United Way, Emily Hawthorne and Casey Decker. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
So Casey, you are actually on staff with
Yes.
United Way.
Mm-hmm.
And Emily, you are what year at Salisbury University?
I'm upcoming junior.
Okay. So give us a little background on yourselves, starting with you, Casey.
Sure. Well, I was born and raised here on the Eastern Shore, originally a Worcester County girl, and grew up in Berlin, graduated from Stephen Decatur. And I was working across the bridge for a while and decided I really wanted to try to find a career that's truly benefiting my local community. So when United Way had a position open up about a year and a half ago, I went for it, and the rest is history, and it's very rewarding.
So what do you do in your role then?
I am a donor relations coordinator.
Okay, and how are you involved with the Student United Way Club?
So I'm actually the United Way liaison for Student United Way. So any kind of support that they might need from our local United Way, they would come through me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Emily, how about you?
I was also born and raised on the Eastern Shore, Queen Anne's County, Upper Shore. I'm an elementary education major with a minor in math and conflict analysis dispute resolution.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome. And I'm a member of Kappa Delta Pi, the Educational Honor Society. I just got the role of the community service chair for the upcoming year as well. So I'm super excited. I love United Way. It's fun.
Okay. So tell us about Student United Way. What is this Student United Way Club and what do you do?
Absolutely.
Do you want me to go? So we try our hardest to advocate and fundraise and educate our community through our students helping and working with the United Way of the Lower Eastern Shore. So we've done fundraisers. We have helped out with the Salvation Army, the Valentine's Day Carnival, the Christian shelter. I know that I personally have gone and helped build beds and prepare them during the winter. We've done a ramp build for a family in need. So we do some fundraising, but we also do a lot of hands-on things to help out the community.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was started about 2 years ago. Actually, exactly 2 years. It was May of 2013. And our local United Way and Salisbury University partnered together and thought, how do we, get college students really involved in the local community? How can we really give them an opportunity to give back? And that's how this club was formed. And there's actually 80 Student United Ways across the nation and across the world, but we have bragging rights because we were the first official Student United Way in the state of Maryland. And after the second year, we've just grown so much in terms of our volunteer hours, all of our fundraising efforts. It's been an incredible second year, and now we're gearing up for our third year, and we're really, really excited.
And your group actually inspired another group similar to you at a younger level.
Yes.
Do you want to talk about that
Absolutely.
just briefly?
Sure. So Pocomoke High School, they actually formed a Student United Way, I would say about a year ago. And it's incredible. These students, they're mostly freshmen and sophomores, and same kind of concept. They give back to their community. They've been doing incredible volunteer projects. Actually, this past March, they did a big Patty's Day Carnival for a lot of the senior citizens at the Pocomoke Community Center. They've worked with different United Way agencies, so really kind of tackling it at the high school level, and then, just trying to go as young as possible and instill that basic foundation of be involved in your community, really make an impact.
Emily, what made you want to get involved?
Back at home, I had helped out with our shelter that's not a permanent shelter, and I went to a activities fair at school, and I was just really interested in how everything stays so local. So I signed up and went to a meeting all by myself, and it was great.
And you're going to be the president
Yes.
next year? Do you have, well, first, before we get into your plans for the next year, let's recap this last year, because it was a really successful year in terms of hours that the students committed to helping others and just the number of people impacted. So can you talk a little bit more in detail about some of the projects and fundraisers that you all did?
In terms of volunteer hours, I think our last data report was over 2,700 hours. And that was through such a plethora of volunteer projects. Emily already touched on quite a few, but it was anywhere from United Way event support, a lot of event support for different United Way agencies, such as the wheelchair ramp build. It might have been the St. Patty's Day run for MAC, the Great Clue Caper for Village of Hope. I mean, just such a plethora of different volunteer projects. And in terms of directly impacting community members, I mean, we're in the line of thousands of people that are directly impacted through our volunteering efforts, advocating efforts, and fundraising efforts.
What's been your favorite project that you've worked on so far? I know you talked about the Christian shelter.
Yeah, I really liked the Christian shelter. It was just very hands-on and meaningful for me personally, but all of it, I love working with kids too. So the Valentine's Day Carnival is awesome, and all of it is just you just know where it's going. So there's not really a favorite, but the Christian shelter is one of my favorites.
I think another favorite of a lot of the students is Salisbury Urban Ministries. They have a kids cafe, and it's a big after-school program for these kids. And if they're not in that program, they're either home alone or they're wandering the streets. And we're talking, some pretty rough neighborhoods in Salisbury. So this program is such a blessing for these kids because it introduces them to mentors. They do arts and crafts, they do tutoring, but they also get a meal, and that might be their only meal that night. So quite a few Student United Way members have been involved with the Kids Cafe, and they really, really loved it, and they truly felt that impact of working with at-risk youth. So in this coming year, we're really trying to have it designed where a lot of the members are going to go on a consistent basis every single week and really develop relationships with these kids, really become almost, like a big brother, big sister to these kids.
That's great. And
absolutely.
And consistency is key with a lot of these kids.
Yes, we don't want to just randomly show up once a month or, twice a semester. We really want to make this happen every single week for these kids.
And you spoke about the ramp build. Can you give a little more detail on that event?
Yeah, that's probably my personal favorite. So we've done two. Our first one was in May of 2014, and then our second one was this past April. And it's an incredible day. In a nutshell, in about 8 hours, you change somebody's life forever by building them a wheelchair ramp build. You partner with the Chesapeake Housing Mission, which is one of our United Way agencies. They provide all of the materials. You don't need any kind of construction experience, or
which is great.
Which is really, really great, especially for people like me. And in 8 hours, you just work together and build different parts of the ramp, and then put it all together in the afternoon. And it's just such an incredible day because you see that impact right there in one day. And the people that we're helping are truly people in need. The first one was for an elderly woman in Pocomoke, and then this past one was for an incredible elderly woman in Chance, Maryland, and her really, really cute grandson too. So it's just in 8 hours you just impact somebody's life forever. It's an incredible feeling.
That's great.
Yeah.
One other thing that happened in this past year was the students got to go on a leadership retreat.
Yes.
Can you talk about that?
Absolutely. So the leadership retreat, that happened in September, and we're actually gearing up for that again. It's September 11th through the 13th of this year. But last year, basically United Way Worldwide puts it on, and all the Student United Ways across the nation and across the world are invited to this huge leadership conference. It's for an entire weekend. You do a bunch of different workshops and network with students, create different plans for the year, and just really kind of mingle and gather ideas from people from Arizona and California, Panama, India. So when we went last year, we took about 5 students and just had an incredible weekend meeting all of these different students from across the nation and world. And it was also cool for the students because it was a bunch of like-minded individuals in one room, all with a similar mission of benefiting their local community. So we're really excited to go again this year.
And how many members does the Student United Way have currently?
Currently, well, we have a network of about 250 members, and many of the students, they kind of come out when they can, but in terms of core members, about 30 right now, 30 incredible core members.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so how do you think, Emily, being a part of Student United Way is going to impact you in the long term? When you get out of school, how will this benefit you?
It definitely has opened my eyes to what reality is, what children and adults go through outside of what you really see. The leadership experience is awesome. Just public speaking, organization, leading a group of people, having a positive attitude. Definitely, I know Kyle, our past president, was very successful when he interviewed. I know Casey told me that she saw the statistic of how employers look at your volunteer hours just as much as they look at your work experience. So I think that that's very important and it will help me definitely.
And one tool that we have, and Casey, you can talk about it just a little bit, is our Get Connected tool. So for the students who are in Student United Way as well as the community at large, it's open to any organization, any nonprofit in our 4-county area, which is Wycomico, Worcester, Somerset, and Dorchester counties. They can go on there and post volunteer needs and in-kind needs. They can talk about special events. But the key for students using that tool is they can track their volunteer hours. So if you work an event, say you're volunteering for Big Brothers Big Sisters and you want to log some mentoring hours, you can go in, you can log your hours. Somebody from Big Brothers Big Sisters can approve it on their end, and then you can get a whole printout, a resume, or a printout of your experience that you can take along with your resume to a job interview saying, hey, I've worked with all of these different organizations in these different capacities.
Exactly, and it's so easy. It just takes a few minutes. And another thing with Get Connected for the students is our different agencies and different nonprofits throughout the area, they post these needs all year round. So say that Emily wants to volunteer in the summer, she can go on, there's so many different needs and events, and she can continue her impact in the summer months if she wants to as well. And in the past, it's really helped us with some fall planning and with some spring planning. Just just one click and you see all these different needs in the community with one portal. So it's really, really useful.
And it's pretty incredible when we can go in on our end and see the impact that all of these students are having with all of these different organizations out in the community, and the hours and the number of people helped.
Exactly.
So what are your goals for the upcoming year? Do you have big plans?
Big
or
plans. Yeah.
So our 5K dash, this will be our second annual.
And that was probably the biggest highlight of this past year, so we saved that for last.
But really we want Salisbury University to know who we are. If students want to volunteer, come to us. We have opportunities there for you at any time. And we're not a club that you need a certain amount of hours or you need to pay or anything like that. It's just whenever you can. And I always say that college kids might not have money, but you always have a Saturday morning. You have time that you can give. And why not give it and just feel better about yourself? We definitely want to become a larger group. So we already work with APO, AST, SGA, and then I really wanted to get involved with Kappa Delta Pi and Residence Life as well. I was an RA this past year, so that's 60 RAs plus their residents that could potentially help out and be involved with us as well. So
and that would be freshmen targeted, which is our main goal. Get them as soon as they come in to SU and have them for 4 years.
So we have our, we'll be at the big activities fair that they do in the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
And then we post bulletins, and then we have our emails and stuff. So I think that's our main goal, is just to get, who we are and what we do and how you can become part of us, I guess.
And each year we're just extending that network further and further. But like Emily said, our main goal is, and this seems like a large goal, but we think it's possible, we want every single student at SU to know who Student United Way is and that we are the hub for getting involved in your community and giving back. Similar, with SGA. Everybody knows who SGA is. That's the caliber that we want Student United Way to be at. And the key is to continue collaborating with all of these different groups. Many tabling sessions, which we always do all the activity fairs. And actually, students should know we're going to have a big kickoff meeting the first week of September, too. We always have a huge fall kickoff meeting that really kicks off the semester. And we're hitting the ground running. So in September, it's not really a planning period. We already have the plan. Let's get started. Another goal, a lot of the students, before the semester ended, we had a big forum about what kind of community impact do you want to make this year. And one big thing was within health. We really want to get a little bit more involved with the senior citizen community. So more involved with MAC, with Bay Area Center for Independent Living, with the local nursing homes. One student had a great idea, why don't we create some memory books for maybe patients that have Alzheimer's and dementia? Or what if we threw a prom for senior citizens? So that's one interest. Another one is animal welfare and environmental causes. We have a lot of environmentalists in our group. So trying to increase our impact with coastal cleanup, the Humane Society. But another one is mentoring. We've already done a lot of mentoring, and we really want to increase that and really help our local youth through the Kids Cafe, Big Brothers, Big Sisters, maybe even start a Big Athlete, Little Athlete program. So in terms of community impact, we've already done so much, but the sky's the limit. We're just going to keep on doing more and more every single year.
Well, it sounds like with your enthusiasm and your energy, you'll be able to accomplish all those goals, especially with the growing number of students that are involved. So can you talk about the 5K a little bit?
Yeah, we wanted to save that for last. So you asked about this past year's highlights. In terms of the main highlight, it would have to be the Halloween 5K fundraiser. That was our inaugural fundraiser. It was November 1st of 2014. And it was such a great success for the first year. Do you want to talk a little bit about it?
Yeah, it was a great success, I thought, for the first year. It was cold.
and rainy and windy.
Yeah. And there were so many people so excited, dressed in all of their different costumes. So we start at Mag's Gym. The 5K ends at Mag's Gym. And there's also the walk, the 1 mile walk as well. So you don't have to run. You don't have to be of any athletic capability to do this. Then there's the after party, which is awesome. There's the costume contest. We had some dance-off type things going, kids, adults. Awesome prizes Casey got for us. And then the United Way members and then other volunteers, we were zombies during the run. So we had some people hanging out of trees, dressed as zombies. And then we weren't allowed to chase them, but we were, jumping.
Yeah, it's spooky fun, but not too spooky. Yeah.
So.
And that was key. That really kind of set that event apart. Was that whole zombie-infested course. So also, when we were planning for the event, we kind of looked at Salisbury University, and there wasn't much going on during Halloween. So we really kind of wanted to put the Student United Way stamp on that. So now we're gearing up for the second annual, and it's going to be bigger and better. So we want more participants, more zombies. Yes, as many zombies as we can have. But in terms of what might be a little bit different this year, we had a DJ last year, which was really great, but we were thinking it'd be really cool to have a little bit of live music, do like a zombie dance-off, zombie face painting, the costume contest, the music, the food, the prizes, really make it an incredible Halloween event for the entire community. That's the other thing that sets it apart. It's not just for SU students, it's open to the entire community. So we're tapping into the running community, and they should know that the 5K course is officially timed. So if they want to train for that and get their best time yet, come on out to the event because it is officially timed. And there's going to be medals as well with an award ceremony. But we're also tapping into youth. We want high school students, elementary students, college students, families, kids. The entire community is welcome. And that's what United Way and Living United is all about. It's a student-led event. Student United Way does everything. They do such an incredible job. And then 100% of proceeds benefit our local United Way of the Lower Eastern Shore. So last year, we did $4,000, and this year I think our goal is about $5,000. So we're very confident we'll get there. Yeah.
So anyone out in the audience who owns a business, don't be surprised
Yes.
if you get a phone call from a Salisbury University student
That's right.
looking for a sponsorship. And I know one of the sponsors last year was the law firm of George Strott, and they said that the students, when they were calling, were the most polite, most professional.
That was Jessica, one of her best friends.
And they just did a really nice job soliciting those sponsorships. But I know that they all worked really, really hard.
Yes. And just in terms of students gaining skills, I mean, gaining the skill of being able to successfully get a sponsorship is huge and can really benefit them later. And then in terms of the date, for everybody that's watching today, we're shooting for Saturday, October 24th. So it's not set in stone, but it will be soon, but definitely end of October, and we'll put our stamp on that and get everything started.
And everybody has plenty of time to start planning their costumes.
Yes, yes. Well, do you want to talk about what you were last year?
I was an 87-year-old woman, and I won best time in my age group.
That's right.
So you talked about the dollar amount raised. Let's discuss a little bit about where those dollars go. For somebody who might not know about United Way or the types of programs that we support or how those dollars are decided where they belong, can you discuss where it all goes?
Absolutely. Well, for people out there that might not be too familiar with United Way, we are a huge national and international nonprofit. But what a lot of people don't realize is how local we are. Just in the U.S. alone, there's 1,400 United Ways, and each one of those are locally and independently ran. So United Way of the Lower Eastern Shore, our local United Way, we're based in Salisbury. We've been there for 71 years, and everything that we do, and Emily touched upon this, everything that we do that makes us special is we're 100% local. So everything is impacting people in Somerset, Wacomico, Worcester, and Dorchester counties. And so what do? We directly fund and support different programs and partner agencies in our area. We're actually the largest non-governmental source of funding. And we're currently supporting 57 programs and 25 partner agencies. And many that I'm sure people that are watching would recognize right away. It might be the Salvation Army, or Big Brothers Big Sisters, Meals on Wheels, or Coastal Hospice. That's just 4 of the 25 agencies. But in addition to providing the funding and support, we also have our own internal programs. So one might be something called Imagination Library. With Imagination Library, and Student United Way has been involved with this program as well, and they love it and what it does. But it actually delivers one free book directly to a child's home once a month until their 5th birthday. And it's an incredible program that really gets kids better prepared for kindergarten. It brings families together, and it gets kids to fall back in love with books because they're running to their mailbox, and it has their name on the book, and they're getting so excited. So that's just one of our internal programs as well. But in terms of the funding and where these dollars go and how it's decided, we're actually in that process currently. We have something called CIC, which is Community Impact Committee. And it's about 30 of our volunteers from each of the counties that we serve. And what these folks do, it's United Way staff and it's community leaders. Any kind of nonprofit that applies to funding for us, we basically do a site visit with them. And the application process is really, really extensive. And we're very outcome based. So we really like to see, okay, what is this program and how is it truly impacting people here in the community? So we do site visits, we really go over the application with them, and then in the end, we all meet together with the CIC committee and decide, okay, where should this funding go? Where is it going to have the most impact for local people? So we're currently impacting about 100,000 people on the shore, and it's through programs that are truly making a difference.
And those programs are all focused in three different areas:
Yes.
Education, financial stability, and health.
And health, you got it.
And it really is for those who get involved with United Way. And when you can see, when you go out to visit the agencies and you get to know the people that those hard-earned dollars are helping, it is the most heartwarming part, other than volunteering.
We had the Student United Way members had the opportunity to go onto like the tour to see different agencies of the lower shore, and me and Jess went, and a couple other members, and it was awesome. It was so great to see what was happening and
Brings
meet
it
the
home.
people as well. Yeah,
Exactly.
the different agencies.
Exactly. And with the CIC committee, I mean, they dedicate countless hours. One thing that a lot of people love about United Way is just how accountable we are. When somebody applies for funding with us, we really take as much time as possible to make sure that our funding decision is benefiting the community truly. And that's one thing that I'm really proud of about United Way, is just how accountable we are to help these people in need. Yeah.
So Emily, what are your plans for after graduation?
In 2 years after I graduate, I really would like to go into inner city and teach inner city, maybe alternative schools, at-risk youth. So United Way definitely has helped me open my eyes to what that is. I know that since I have been a part of United Way and will continue to be after I graduate as well. I know my mom donates to United Way every month or through a paycheck or whatever. So I know that it's nationally, internationally recognized. So as soon as they see that on my resume, hopefully that will, put me above anyone else in the application process, and I would have the experience that I would need to be successful in my career.
Well, you would definitely be an asset to any organization or employer. So I hope,
That's for sure.
I wish you all the best of luck once you
you.
graduate. Well, we certainly wouldn't be able to do anything that we do in the community if it weren't for the support of volunteers like Emily.
Yes, that's right.
Well, thank you both so much for joining us today on United Way Update. You've been wonderful guests. Emily, if somebody wants to get involved with Student United Way, how do they go about doing that?
You could email me, ehawthorne1@gulls.salisbury.edu. We usually send out emails when our next meetings are, and I went all by myself, and I'm here, so no stress on that. Then we have a sign in the student activities office, and we usually put some flyers out. We do some tabling events. We'll be at the activities fair in the beginning of the year, and they do those throughout the year as well. So we have a table there too. Anything else?
Yeah, and just be on the lookout for that big fall kickoff meeting. It's going to be the first week of September, and like I said, we're hitting the ground running. So when you join us, be ready to get involved in the community, because we're ready.
And if anyone watching has a company or they want to support Salisbury University's Student United Way, how do they reach out? Maybe to our office?
Absolutely. So you can go ahead and call me directly, Casey Decker, and our number is 410-742-5143. Or feel free to email me at Casey, it's spelled K-A-C-E-Y, it's a little different, at UnitedWay4us.org.
Okay, thank you very much,
Amy.
ladies. You've been watching United Way Update, and make sure to tune in to watch PAC 14 streaming live at www.pac14.org.
Would you like to see your community organization or nonprofit group featured on PAC 14? To get started, contact us at 410-677-5014 or visit our website at www.pac14.org. PAC 14 is a great way to connect with your community.